A foundational principle in Stoicism is that we don't respond to the situation itself, but our interpretation of it. And the interpretation that we give to a particular event is within our control to change. Marcus Aurelius said, "If any external thing causes you distress, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your own judgment about it. And this you have the power to eliminate now." The Stoic claim is that our reactions to the external world and the emotions that it conjures up involves 3 stages. The event, or the person, place, or thing that confronts us, our own interpretation or opinion of the event, and then our reaction to our interpretation of the event. Did you catch that? In this framework, we are not reacting to the actual event itself, but our personal interpretation of it, the meaning we assign to the event. And this assigning of meaning we give to things is often unconscious and automatic. Our task as practicing Stoics is to notice this interpretive step and not just live our lives on autopilot or bulldozing through our emotional experiences. In a lot of cases, the way we are processing and interpreting the world around us forms an unconscious pattern that can lock us into looping emotional experiences. Even though our emotions and our reactions feel spontaneous in the moment, our experience of the world, the people, the places, the things in our lives is internally filtered through our personal history, our traumas, our attachment styles, our belief systems, and unconscious biases. As Stoics, we must cultivate a guardian-like awareness of our internal judgment. Rather than reacting impulsively, we examine our emotions, tracing them back to the underlying beliefs and memories that give rise to them, because only then can we gain conscious control of our own emotional impulses and reactions and reduce the power the outside world has over us. There must be space between the event or what happens to us and how we respond. It's about developing the ability to exist within the tension between impulse and response, and strengthening the part of us that can observe our thoughts without immediately collapsing into them. This skill is what I call the observer mind, or the part of our mind that can zoom out and pause before impulse and observe our own thinking and the sensations that are stirring up within us. But how do we know when we're operating from the observer mind? Well, let's consider the practice of meditation, for example. In meditation, we train to sit and observe our thoughts without reacting to them. A thought arises, an itch, a twitch, an impulse, and we just observe it and let it pass. And we do this again and again and again with each practice until over time we learn to exist in the tension between stimulus and response. And we're able to distinguish between our own mental noise and the voice of reason. There's a part of us experiencing the thoughts and the sensations, but there's another part of us watching it happen. The part of us that notices the impulse without immediately obeying it is the observer mind. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go out and start a meditative practice. It's personally something that I have never been able to get into at all. I cannot do the fully sit still vibes. I'm too much of an information sponge. I've always got to be reading something or researching or going down some God knows what rabbit hole algorithm. But more specifically as Stoics, when something is happening in your life where there is a heightened urge to react. This is your opportunity to pause, to create some distance from the immediate impulse, to zoom out, to access the observer mind and examine your interpretation, the meaning, the story you're telling yourself about what's happening in the moment. And we have a parting message from Schopenhauer. Although Schopenhauer wasn't a Stoic, he did arrive at some of the same principles. And he says, "It is not what things are objectively and in themselves, but what they are for us, and our way of looking at them that makes us happy or the reverse."